I'm going to walk you through how to download and install the database files that you need for our course. Make sure that you have already installed SQL Server and SSMS, and then all you really need to do is click on the links. And I'm just going to put these in my download folder. And the first two are zipped files. And then the last one is actually a backup file. That we are going to download from GitHub, and we're just going to download this first one. And then I am going to go ahead and go into my download folder. And I can see the first couple ones are done. So I'm just going to start with the textbook author files. And I'm going to double click. And this is a compressed file, so I am going to extract it. And I'm just going to extract to downloads. And I'm going to pause this while it is extracting. So it looks like mine is done, although I'm still in the zipped folder. So I'm going to go back to downloads. And now I can see the decompressed folder, which is the one I'm going to open. And what we need to do is install our databases. And if you're curious, I mean, you can kind of poke around in here. And you can see that there's different script files in here that you can run. But what we're really interested in is not the projects and the exercise, it's the databases. And so these are 3 different scripts that we are going to run to create an AP database, an examples database, and a product orders database. Okay, and you need to run these from the decompressed file, and you should be able to just double click on them and your SSMS, your SQL Server Management Studio, should open. Now, if double clicking doesn't work, you can launch SSMS, but try the double click method first. So what it's doing when I double click is it is accessing SSMS, and it is going to launch that program. Yeah, and it should ask me to log in with my Windows authentication. So all I should have to do here is click on connect. Should not have to do anything else. Okay, and you'll notice it actually prompted me twice, so I went ahead and connected twice. This script, which is going to look very foreign to you, is basically creating the database itself and then all of the tables that go in that database. By the end of the semester, you will actually understand what all of this means. For right now, we're just going to click right into the script itself, and we're going to click on execute. Okay, and all of these messages indicate that it did work. Okay, so I'm going to close this one. And then I could go back to my download folder or download in the databases folder. And I'm going to double click on the next one. Okay, and it's basically the same procedure. This is going to create another database. So I'm going to click over here and I'm going to execute it. So what happens if you double click and it doesn't go into SSMS? If it doesn't go into SSMS, then I actually would be concerned that there was some type of installation issue, but there is something that you can try. So I'm going to go back into SSMS. I've got 2 of the databases installed. I'm going to exit out of here. I still need to do the 3rd one, but I'm going to show you another way to get in. So down here in our search box, I'm going to key in SSMS. Here's my app, and I'm going to left click on it. So that's going to launch the app, and I'm going to have to connect. And once I'm inside the app, okay, then I can open a file. See, there's an open button. And now I can navigate to downloads, go into my CIT178 files, go into databases, pick that 3rd one, and open it. Okay, and as long as you have the insertion mark over here in the code, you can execute, and it will create that 3rd database. Now, how can you tell that they're there? If you click on the plus sign next to databases, you should be able to see them. Now you'll look and you'll say, hey, how come you have 4? My example, one of my examples for your final project is called My Fictional Business. So this is my own personal database. What you guys are going to see is AP examples and product orders. Okay, and what happens if you have run the code for each one of them and you don't see it? Sometimes that happens, and what you have to do, it's just a matter of refreshing your screen. So if you right click on databases and you choose refresh, then you should be able to see them. Okay, so these are the textbook authors database files, AP, examples, and product orders. Now we have a couple other ones that we still need to install. So I'm going to go over to downloads. And now I'm going to do the Northwind database, which is actually quite famous. There's a lot of really good data in there. And for what we need this semester, there's a lot of tables that we can use to query and learn commands in. So what we're going to do is select this and extract. And again, I'm just going to extract to the download folder. And I'm going to go back to downloads. And you can see that I've got my decompressed or unzipped file here that I'm going to open. And there is a Northwind database and a pub database that have code for us to run. So I'm going to go ahead and do Northwind first. And let me execute. And sometimes you do see errors. Don't worry, it's still going to be fine. Okay, there's a couple stored procedures it was looking for that it couldn't find, but it did complete. So if I come over here and I right click and I refresh, I can see Northwind, and you'll see there's all sorts of tables for us to work with. Okay, so it did work. And I'm going to close this. And now I'm going to go back to that download folder. And I'm going to install the pub database. So I'm going to click over in here and execute. Okay, and again, this did have an error. It's nothing that you need to worry about. It did complete. Okay, so if we right click over here and we refresh, you can see that pubs is there. Okay, so now we've got Northwind all installed. And for the last one, if you remember, this wasn't a zipped file. Okay, so this is actually a backup. And so what we're going to have to do is do a little restore from the backup. So I'm going to come into here and I'm going to right click on databases and I'm going to restore the database. And I have the backup on my device. So I'm picking device here and I'm going to click on the ellipsis, the 3 periods. And I need to add that file. And now I need to navigate to where it's located. And that is located in the download folder, which I'm hoping I have access to. Sometimes it doesn't give you access to everything that you want. We go into users, going into my little account here. All right, so I'm going into default users on my system. And if I can't find it, then what I'm going to do, yep, I think it's going to be easier if I just move it into a temp file. You'll see I have a temp file or folder right here on my C drive. And that is where I'm going to move it to. So let me cancel. And we'll go to downloads. Here's my backup. Looking for my temp folder. I've got a lot of stuff going on. So I have a lot of folders. It's rather obnoxious. Okay, let's go find my C drive. And there's my temp folder. So I'm just going to left drag this down to my temp folder. And then we'll make sure, you can see I have several students files in here because this is not the first time I've had to do this. And this is the one that I want. It's the full backup. So I'm going to go back over into SSMS and we'll try this again. So I'm going to restore the database from the device, which is my hard drive. Going to add the location, which is not the default location. I have it in the temp folder now. Okay, and I'm doing the full backup for this. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to click OK again. Okay, and it pulled it in. Should have a little check mark there. And I'm going to click OK. Okay, and now it is restoring. You can see the progress. And usually if there's a problem restoring a backup, you will see it right away. So this looks like it is working. So I'm going to go ahead and pause until it's done. And when it is done, it should come back and tell you that it was restored successfully. So you can click OK. And then you should see it in the list of database files. If you go through this and you have any issues at all, let me know. I can meet with you in Zoom and we can walk through getting these files installed. So you will have AP examples, Northwind product orders, pubs, and worldwide importers when you are done.